Hi everybody, it's Diane. Well, the cowboy journals are done, so now I can start on the glue books. It's always fun for me to get started on a new project. And glue books are pretty simple because I don't embellish them. So this will be a fun one. Last night I couldn't sleep because we just had daylight savings start, and I have a really hard time adjusting to that, so I couldn't sleep, and I was in here cutting pages for these books. So I think I have pretty much all of them cut. So I have 6 book covers here. I'll be making 6 glue books, and I said that I would reserve 3 if people wanted them, and then just put 3 in the shop. So no more reservations because 3 have been reserved. This one is reserved for Barry because Barry's a guy and he wanted a more manly one, and so this is the cover I have that would be suitable for that. So let me know if you like this, Barry. If you don't like it, then I'll see if I can find something else. But these are the covers I already had pulled to start this project. And this is the inside. I love the inside. So that one's reserved. And now the others, I'm going to show you the covers so that the other 2 people can choose what they would like. And then the other 3, like I said, will just be in the shop when they're done. So this one is Better Homes and Gardens. I should tell everybody what the measurements are so if they know if that's the size they want. So Barry, this one is 7.5 by 10.25. So this one is really fun. Better Homes and Gardens, Birthdays and Family Celebrations. I would probably choose this one for myself just because it's pink, and I just love this book. Look at the inside. I'll have to do something here, but I'm going to try to keep as much of the pink as I can in the back. This is a great one. And it measures 6 3/4 by about 10.25. Then we have this one, which was bound with a bind-it-all. I had bound some of my art journal pages that I had done loose. They were just loose pages. So at some point I bound them with this and did a collage on it. You can see the aging of it around the edge, but it's Mod Podged over it because of the collage, and the back is plain. Can you see the aging around it? So when I put the fabric on it, it'll cover up those holes. And it has a pocket, library pocket with a stamp on it. And this one measures 7, almost 7.5 by 9 3/4. This is a K&Company Smash book. I'll cover up this part. Can you see the embossing on it? This could be a more masculine book. If you like this one better, Barry, just let me know. This is 7 3/4 by 10.25. It has the nice green inside and this pocket, and it has the pen loop, which I will leave on there. And then we have 2 Childcraft books, and they are both 7 by 10. So there's this pink one, hot pink, that says Holidays and Customs. And this one is purple. It says Children Everywhere. Okay, so those are the covers. Now I'm going to put one together. I think I've already done a glue book start to finish series, but it's been a while, so I'm going to just do another one. Let's just start with this book right here. I have, oops, sorry for the noise. I have some chipboard here. This came off the back of a tablet. I have been using 12 by 12 pieces of chipboard that a friend of mine gave me because she ordered a whole pack of them a long time ago and then didn't want them anymore, so she gave them to me. And I just take a spine width at a time. That's pretty much all I use of them. But So they lasted me a long time, but now they're running out. Well, they did run out. So I have to, and I don't know what the weight of them was, so I'm having a hard time figuring out what I want to order. But I think I ordered some. I'm just trying to decide how big I want this spine to be. So I think I ordered some from Amazon, and I hope when they come that they are the width that I need. I'm going to cut this at 2 1/4. I'm hoping that will be wide enough. It will definitely be wide enough for the papers that I put in, but then when you start gluing in it, it'll thicken up. So I'm cutting this at 2 1/4. Some of the tablets have really nice sturdy backs, and this is one of them. If you ever get, I forgot the name of the brand. Oh well, it's good quality tablets. They have graph paper tablets and lined paper and project pads and stuff like that. And they have really sturdy back covers, but I can't remember the name of them. I'm doing terrible with remembering names of people and stuff. I think now that I'm settling in, it's looking really good here. I still need to get a bookshelf, and I still need to have my shelves hung on my walls in here. But I'll be so glad to have those things so I can really get things put away where they need to go. But it is looking really good. My parents came over. They were waiting till I was more settled in to come and see where I live now. So they came and brought their dog Mandy. They visited with me for a while, and they were very pleased. They said they think I'll be happy here. Okay, so that looks good. So I have my chipboard piece cut, and I'm just going to take my red tape, which I'm also running out of. This is all I have. I have not had time to go to my craft stores. This was a bad week for it. Well, it's only Tuesday, but I have a full week. So I'm hoping to go next week. But I'm going to need a lot of this red tape for all of these book covers. So I ordered some of that. It should be here tomorrow, and I'm hoping it's the kind I want. It's kind of hard to tell from online. And my kitchen island came today. I had ordered one. It's on wheels, but it's in a box right now. So my daughter's going to come over tomorrow. She's off tomorrow. I have to work a few hours in the morning. And then she's going to come over and the two of us are going to try to put that island together. Wish us luck. It has attachments. It has a spice rack, it has a paper towel holder, and it has 3 or 4 drawers, and it has doors, and it has a leaf. So we have to, and wheels. So that's a lot of stuff for us to, first assemble the cabinet with the shelves and then add all those attachments. So that'll be a challenge. I figured I should do a video today because I might not get a chance to tomorrow. And I'm having a hard time peeling the liner off of this tape. Got that one off. Get my thumb out of the way. Last week I told you I was doing 1 room a day of unpacking and organizing and stuff. So I went through the whole house. So this week I'm going back through the 1 room a day, trying to fine-tune it a little bit better. For example, today was my bedroom, and I had to put my desk in the bedroom. because I put my piano in the office. Because piano's not going to fit in the bedroom. So I had all the office stuff, the desk stuff, in boxes and bags, waiting to be put back into the desk and around the desk. In my other house, I had my desk, and then I had a buffet right next to the desk, and I could put some of my things like my 3-hole punch and stapler and stuff like that, my label maker. I could put the bigger things like that in the top drawer of the buffet, but I don't have that here. So I'm trying to make it work, just like everything else in this house. What I should have done before I peeled all that tape off was cut my Tyvek, but it's okay, I can do it now. I like to kind of lay it down and get the right size, but I'm not going to do that now because it'll stick to tape. So here is a Tyvek envelope. I got this at Walmart. They don't carry them anymore. They might online, I don't know, but they don't have them in the store. So I got these when they were clearancing them out. They only had them for a very short time, but you can get them at Staples. And I don't have an Office Depot near me, but you might be able to get them at Office Depot. So what I do is I just trim around the edges, which will open up the envelope. I'm just trimming off the folded edge so that it's open. I thought that was a little too narrow there. Now this Tyvek sheet, these 2 sheets will make several journals. So I put my journal pieces together. Excuse me. I could just measure across it, but this is how I always do it. I just put them together, and then I hold the envelope so that I know it's going to span from one cover to the other cover. I don't want to lay it down in the tape, and I'll just mark it there and cut it. And I want it to be the same. I'm going to cut off this just because I don't think it would matter if you left it there. I'm just making sure I reduce any excess bulk, I guess. And this doesn't have to be exactly the same length. I make it just a tiny bit shorter. So this Tyvek is really tough. You can't tear it. It cuts easily. Oops, I laid it down in it. But you can't tear it. So that reinforces the spine. This is how I always create my spines, with sturdy cardboard and Tyvek, and then fabric over the whole thing to also reinforce it and make it pretty. I put just a tiny gap in between the pieces. I'm using the grid on my mat to line things up straight, and you have to be careful because there is tape all the way around this. As I put it in position, if my finger is on the tape and I pull my finger away, of course I'm going to dislodge where I just put the piece. Now I'm going to take the Tyvek and lay it right down over the tape and press it down. And now I have a spine. But it doesn't look very pretty. So my next step is to cover it with fabric. I brought in my pile of fabrics that are of the slightly heavier weight. I don't know if I have what I want to cover this. I do love this part of matching fabrics up to the book covers. But I am not much of a purple person, so I probably don't have any purple fabric. So we'll just have to see what I do have that would look good with this book. And it's okay to use a lighter weight fabric. I just always look at these first. And if I don't see anything that strikes my fancy, I move on to my regular fabrics. This could be kind of a neutral. That's a possibility right there. This is one of my favorites. There's no purple in it, but look at it with that. It's kind of perfect with that, so that's a possibility. I'll take my sweater off. It's a dull, dark, rainy day today. It was very windy earlier. 3 days ago, I was scraping frost off my windshield, off my windows of my car, and then yesterday it was in the low 70s. Today it's not that warm, but it's not cold. So I put my air conditioner on just before I started this video. I do like this bright green because it picks that green up there. So that's a possibility. So anyway, I can feel the air in here, but I'm still warm, so I had to take my sweater off. I think we're going to go with this one. I like it. The pattern is kind of a neutral pattern, but it's a nice bright contrast to that, and then it picks up the green here and the green there and there, so I think that's a good choice. So now I use this side because I want to make sure I'm covering the tie-back to get the width of the fabric. Some of these heavier fabrics are not great to tear because they kind of pull and pucker the fabrics, but I often do it anyway. And then I cover the edges with trim or lace or something. And sometimes if it's bad, I'll trim it, but at least if I tear it, I know it's straight. That's the reason I tear it. So that wasn't too bad. It did. You can see it's kind of curled, but that's all right because we're going to cover that. I'm going to trim off this extra frayed end. So now I just need to get the right length. So I just wrap it around. Sometimes I have to, the piece that I want to use isn't long enough to do this, so I will just cut it this long to wrap around and come inside, and then I'll put something else on the inside. But this one is more than long enough. I do like to use rickrack on fun journals like these. So I might go get my rickrack when I'm ready to put the trim on the edges. And these end papers are perfectly fine, but if they're white, I usually cover them with a paper, just because who wants white? So I'm going to take my 3-in-1, or you could use Fabri-Tac or whatever glue you like to use. And this is my method. After trial and error, I put this where I want it. So this is going to come up a little bit, and then this will cover the edge and be facing down. I like the raw edge facing down rather than this raw edge facing up. That's just my preference. Making sure that the edges of the Tyvek are covered. And even if the Tyvek showed, if I'm going to put paper over it, it would cover it. So that part's not that necessary. And I'm just going to put some Tyvek on this edge, this end. I'm sorry about the shadow, but my light is on this side of me. I don't have my overhead lights hung yet. I do have an overhead light that's in the center of the room, but I always had fluorescent lights hanging directly above my table. It helps me see better, and it also makes better filming. And then I want to put this part on it, so I just put my glue bottle there so I know where to start putting the glue, because I'm gonna drape this fabric over the top of the book, and I don't want glue up here where it's going to lay on the table when I flip it over. I hope that makes sense. It should make sense when you see how I'm doing this. Of course, you just do it whatever way works for you. So see, if I had put glue up too far, it would be laying on the table right now, getting my mat covered in glue. I do not bend my cover. I don't bend the book closed at all until the glue is dry, because you'll pull on it. I'm just going to trim a little bit more off, not much. And now I'll glue this part down. The fun part for me in putting the covers together is choosing the fabric and then the trims to put on the edges. I just love doing that. When I used to sew, the fun part was selecting the pattern and the fabric. I would have loved to have somebody else do the sewing for me. But my mother sewed, and so my sister and I sewed. The two younger ones never really got into sewing, but my sister, Annette, is a really good seamstress. She's much better at it than I am. But I just figured, you know, everybody was supposed to sew because my mother sewed. She sewed our clothes. She made wonderful Halloween costumes for us. She sewed toys. She sewed Christmas ornaments. Okay, so there's that. I do like this color with it. So I'm going to go get my rip rack and see what we come up with for trim. That would be a good one. I wonder if I have purple. Seems like I do. Oh, look at that one. I never get to use that one. Maybe that'll work. Oh, I do have purple here too. And we have this fluorescent green. Okay, so we have that. I like the purple. Do you? That would be fun, putting it right on top. Let's do that. Getting fancy. I'd like to be able to just squeeze this bottle and move it, but the glue doesn't really come off the tip until you touch it down, so that's why I'm always like pouncing it down on what I'm gluing. It'd be a lot easier if I could just squeeze it and let it flow. But I like the glue a lot. I like the wider rickrack because it covers the frayed edges better. There's a little bit of fraying sticking out, but that's okay. At least I don't mind it. I don't know if I started saying things and never finished my thought. I probably did. If I watch this back, I'll realize, oh, I never finished talking about that. I'll have to trim that part off when the glue is dry. I don't think I've ever used this white and purple rickrack. This came with a batch of vintage pieces, vintage rickracks that I got. I love it when I find a treasure trove of vintage rickracks. I'm getting excited for flea market season. Not that I need to buy more stuff, because I'm still trying to find places to put my stuff, but I never know what treasures I'm going to find, and I want to look for treasures that I can share with you guys. And the first couple of trips are always exciting because the people have had all winter to gather things at estate sales or house, what do you call it, when they buy a house out, empty the house, I can't remember what they call it. But they've had all winter to gather stuff, and so I get to go look at the fresh stuff. So I like to go to the Tioga Downs flea market, which is at a racetrack and casino and restaurant campus type of thing, but it has some barns. They have 2 full barns full of stuff with vendors, and the vendors are usually not there when I'm there, but they have, you just take all your stuff to the register. And the other place I like to go is an outdoor flea market, which is a little further away from me now, but still doable, very doable. It's closer than the Tioga Downs one. And these are tables set up, and the vendors are right there with their own tables. And that one is fun because the vendors could be different from week to week. You never know who's going to be there and what fun stuff they're going to have. All right. Boy, I've been babbling a lot. In my last video, I was super quiet. I think this pad might have some good papers for this. I think I got rid of all the purple from this pad. Oh wait, there's some purple. Which one do we want? I think this one goes with the purple on the book better. This pad is from Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby, and it's called Eclectic Remix. I got it because I thought it would be good for boho journals, but I've used a lot of it. And you know, the other day when I did my, Saturday, when I did my, looking for my pencil, there it is, my glue book, when I was working in my glue book, I can't find my glue book. I am so tired of not being able to find stuff. But this isn't like something that I I just don't know where I packed it and what box it's in because I moved. This is something I actually used, and then later that day when I wanted to look at the pages that I had done, I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is, and I've been cleaning and tidying and searching, and I have no idea where that glue book is. I'm so frustrated by that. Makes me feel very inept and foolish. I took it out and had it sitting on the couch because I was going to look at it, but then I never got a chance to, and I had to go pick up my young friend that I have a Bible study with. And so I moved things off the couch so she could sit there, and I don't remember actually picking that up and moving it, but I must have. I haven't seen it. It's ridiculous. I don't know what my problem is. I really like that color. It's perfect with that purple. So if I was not covering the end paper, I would leave it just like this, and I would put some trim here to cover those raw edges. But since I am covering the raw edges with the paper, I don't need to add trim. I can if I want to, just for a fun element, but I don't need to, and I don't think I'm going to with this. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I want to have the 2-in-1 gluing the paper to this fabric, but on the other edges I'm just going to use this. This won't warp the paper at all, and it holds quite well. This is a vibrant colored glue book. This would be a fun one to work in. I put the tape on all the edges, but that's okay because this will just reinforce it. There, one book cover done. I love that. I love the colors of this. That is so fun. So I have 5 more covers to make, which I won't do on camera, but let me show you the pages that I selected. I have scrapbook paper pages. So I just, whatever scrapbook paper I wanted to include in here. So I have 6. It doesn't really matter. Usually in a glue book, I just cut random papers and then just stick a bunch in there. I don't try to put the same papers in each signature or make sure that all the books have the same number of scrapbook papers or lined paper or whatever. It's just a glue book. I'm not trying to create a design or anything in it. But this time, when I was cutting the papers, for the most part, I did about 18 of everything, so that I'd have 3 for each book, 1 for each signature. But I don't usually do that. So these are actual pages from the Childcraft books. So I'll just select a few of those to put in, and then they will of course end up being folded like this and put in sideways, so you'll just have this small page. I like having a variety of sizes of pages. So those are Childcraft pages. Then these pages are from that children's cookbook with a really pretty pink. I love the colors. So I'll choose a few of those. That one. And then I have some 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I had way too much cardstock, so I just pulled some out that I can put in these books. So you have this nice sturdy page to glue on. I've got some wrapping paper. And some calendar pages. Some lined paper. This was really long paper. Some of this that came out of like a composition book style. Wallpaper. I have some bigger pieces and smaller pieces. This was from a pattern, like a knitting and crochet book. Quilt book. So I've got craft book pages in here. Some music. Some more scrapbook paper, but I already have what I want. Map page. So I might have to add a few more pages to this. Let's see how many pages we have. It's going to be 3 signatures, just because that's how I always make them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. I don't think we need more. That makes 11 pages per signature, so that's going to be fine. So since we're doing a start to finish on these glue books, I'm just going to assemble the signatures for this one before I make the other covers. So I have 5 scrapbook papers. I ended up taking one out, so it's not going to be 2 in each signature, but like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm just putting pages in any old way, any order at all. Those are the book pages, so I'll put them in a pile. Cardstock, wrapping paper. There's another book page. I've got 3 music sheets. So this is just miscellaneous paper there. Here's wallpaper. Okay. Now I'm just going to take 11 pages and put them in a signature in any order. I'll have to trim that down a little bit. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. so the wallpaper is a little bit longer than the scrapbook paper, which is fine. Scrapbook paper is only 12 inches. You can't, unless you patch it together, you can't make it wider than that. But what matters is, does it fit in the book? I knew I'd have to trim off the yellow paper because I just folded that without cutting it down. So that's the only paper I'm going to trim. Maybe the calendar page too a little bit, because they were both wider. So, but I don't mind that this is hanging out over this. And everything else looks good. So now I just start again. I think I'll probably either go with a large wallpaper piece or one of the scrapbook papers at the beginning, and you don't have to. You can have a small piece in the front. 1, 2, 3. In fact, let's do it that way. 4. See, that looks kind of fun. And then whatever you put here, you could make sure it coordinates with whatever you're putting there if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then lastly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be everything left here, but I'm counting to make sure that I had the right amount. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, I have the right amount. So these are going to be the signatures in this book. And I will not be adding any embellishments because it's a glue book and you are going to just decorate them with glued images. So there's going to be lots of space in the book, and as you glue, it will get fatter and fatter. But this is going to be a really fun journal. I love this. All right, I think that's good enough for today. I'm going to trim down some of these, and then I'm going to move on to make the next cover. So I'll make sure that you see whatever the next step is in this. I think the next step is just going to be sewing it into the signature, which I don't usually show. I'll show part of it at least, but I have to hold things close to my face when I'm doing things like that, so it's hard to do a video on it, but we'll see what we can do the best we can, because there isn't much else to do to this. I just gather pages and cut them to size, which I did in the middle of the night, sew them in, and the book is done. It's ready for you to glue in. So it's a pretty simple process. Thank you for watching, and I'll show you all of these completed journals on the next video, or completed covers on the next video before I start sewing them together. I want you to see what the covers look like with their fabric and everything. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.